Hi there. This is the poison pawn queen trap in the French, and it's a trap that has embarrassed no small number of highly rated players. After e4 and e6, d4, d5, the French defense, knight c3, it goes down classical lines with knight f6, e5 drives the knight back to d7, and in this very popular position, white's most common move here is f4. Also playable is this move I quite like, knight ce2, quite fashionable and trendy. Or this move, knight f3, is a move favoured by Nepomniachtchi, played on occasion by Morozevich. Black will play the almost involuntary c5, challenging white's strong yet small centre. And white shouldn't be afraid to help the black bishop come out. So d takes c5, good move by white. After bishop takes on c5, bishop f4, developing a piece and defending that important pawn wedge pawn on e5. Black could try the immediate queen b6. That's not too bad. Knight c6 is more common. And white to move d3 looks like the most natural square onto which to place the king's bishop. Bishop d3 is played by Morozevich, and now queen b6 is a popular idea for black, but it does score much less than the other alternatives. White now will castle in order to put the king into safety and to defend that vulnerable f-pawn. So castles, and in this, again, very common position, the b2 pawn is hanging, is loose. Can it be taken? Well, it will be consistent with black's last move, queen b6, and I have this capture, queen takes b2, over 150 times in my database, and it's by far black's most popular choice. However, it's a totally losing move. Let's go back. Black would be doing okay here, close to equality, if the bishop went back to g5 to keep a watchful eye on the g5 square, which is quite important here, or to play h6, after which black might be able to castle and continue with slow development. Instead, queen takes b2 is totally losing, because that allows knight b5, and all of a sudden the knight is threatening on c7, in some lines maybe to d6, but more importantly the queen looks as if it might be trapped. So the queen can get out unscathed with a move like queen b4, and then if bishop d2 hitting the queen can run to g4. The queen will escape with impunity, but to the expense of the other black pieces, as the knight will jump to c7, and that's going to pick up the rook, and white will be winning. So after knight b5, if black plays a move like king d8 to keep an eye on c7, then bishop d2, nifty retreat of the bishop, cuts off potential flight squares of the queen. And now the queen is going to be in trouble after a move like rook b1. d4, an interesting try by black. We'll see why in a second, maybe to vacate the d5 square, but we'll see that all other moves help black to nothing. Now that will be met by rook b1, hitting the queen, and now if queen takes on a2 and the rook goes back to a1, let's see what black could do here. Well, it's got a few choices. Let's just have a look at this queen d5 move, taking advantage of that vacated square on d5 after the move d4, but the queen is lost here after c4. The queen has nowhere to go, has to take en passant. D takes on c3 is met by knight takes on c3. All the queen can do is take this bishop on offer on d3. Queen takes d3, but that's met by bishop to g5 check, and that's picking up the queen, and black is surely losing. So jumping into d5 isn't going to work. Again, so after rook a1, if queen goes back to b2, then we have bishop back to c1, and the queen now has two squares, either b4 or to take the rook on a1. If queen takes a1, we have the same theme as before, bishop g5 now, check is going to pick up the queen on a1. And if after bishop c1 the queen were to run to b4, then bishop a3 hits the queen again. And if the queen was to move to, let's say, a5, then again, bishop takes on c5 is hitting the queen with the rook. The queen has nowhere to go, and the queen is dropping. In all variations, black is losing, and that b2 pawn was definitely poisoned. So this has been a trap in the French defense, and it's called the poisoned pawn queen trap. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.